right, perfect. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the first three. The first three says use the graph to write an equation of the line and interpret the slope. So you had to pick 2 points that were on this graph. Okay, so for example, on number 1, I would use the point 0, 0, and that point 10, 2. Use the slope formula, find M, and then we already know that B is 0. Okay, on this one, they kind of told you the slope here. Did they tell you the slope? They told you the rise over the what? What's the slope? 50. 50. And then find the y-intercept at 125, and there's your line. And then same thing over here. The only thing we had to add to each of these is what does the slope represent? Remember, slope is change in y over change in x. So the slope here would be the change in the dollars per the cost of the meal. How much your tip went up per dollar in meal. This one, what's the balance per week in your account? The balance per week. How much does it go up per week? Or how much are you adding to your account each week? Do you have that homework? Oh, you didn't do it? Okay. All right. And then this one, how many words you type per minute? How many words you type per minute? Questions on the first three. Next couple, or next one. This one was the whole, here is carrier B. Carrier B is down here. This is carrier A. So pick 2 of those points, find the slope, find the y-intercept. When you did, for carrier B, you got that y equals 55x plus 300. Y equals 55x plus 300. So it asked you then, who charges less per month? Well, they charge what? Oh, wait a minute, that was carrier B. That was carrier A. I needed carrier A. What was carrier A when you wrote the equation? 50x plus 350. All right, guys. Carrier A was 50x plus 350. So now who charges less per month? Carrier A. Carrier A, because they were $50 a month. Carrier B is what? $55 per month. And then after how many will they be the same? You just said 55x plus 300 equal to 50x plus 350 and so on. I like this problem. How'd you do? Good. Questions on 7. This one, what did they do wrong? They flipped this up. They did x2 minus x1 over y2 minus y1. It should be what? Flipped. Should be flipped. Okay, that was 9. You guys did not love these 2. Okay, make a graph using the minutes walked and the calories burned. Okay, on this one, I'd maybe go by 2s. On this one, maybe 10s, maybe 5s, either way. And then go over 1, up 6, over 6, up until you got your scatter plot. And you can see on my answer key, here's my scatter plot for number 11. After I did that, I took my line and drew my line of best fit. It was pretty much through all those points. Data appear linear. Now notice I said this is a sample answer. Woo! That is not my marker. Sample answer. That means yours is going to be something close to this, but not exact. Okay, I used the point 1, 6 and 627. Found the slope, found the y-intercept, and got y equals 21 over 5x plus 1.5. Is yours something similar to that? Then I plugged in 15. I got close to 64.8. Are you close to 64.8 with your equation? Okay, it won't be exact because you probably did not use the exact same 2 points that I did. Okay, then the next one, I put battery life, went by tens on Y. I went by hours by 2 on X. There's my graph. I then said, okay, got to draw my line of best fit. That might be a little off. Pick 2 points that are on that line. I used the points 386, 761, did all the math. Then plugged in 15, and after 15 hours, the battery life will be approximately 11%. Yes, sir?
Is it okay if I have the slope still as a
Yes. Negative 25 over 4 or whatever. Yep, that's fine. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Anybody else? Was this annoying to do by hand? They're 11 and 13. I'm going to teach you how to do it in your calculator. Pass those in. Oh. So everybody needs their graphing calculators out. Thank you. All right. So, I'm going to pass out another sheet to you. And guys, it's funny, Mr. Laverick just referred to this sheet in his class the other day, stats class. I don't know if it was stats or calc, I don't know. But either way, he referred to this blue paper. I made it blue. Why do you think I made it blue? It's important. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. Okay. So I made this blue. You're just trying to kill me with that book bag, aren't you? All right. I made this blue because it is very, very, very important. This blue paper, you're not allowed to use it on the test. And I promise by the time we get to the test, you will be fine with these problems. I know today you're going to be like, oh, I'm never going to remember this. I promise you, you will. Promise you, you will. Okay? Well, it goes on here to talk about the line of best fit is a line that best models the set of data that lies as close as possible to all of the data points. Many technology tools have a linear regression feature that you can use to find the line of best fit for a set of data. The correlation coefficient is denoted by the letter R and is a number that ranges from -1 to 1. So basically, if I have this one would be close to +1. It'd be maybe 0.9. This one would be maybe -0.9. And this one would be very close to 0 because they're all scattered about. So if they're positive related and close to a line, they're close to +1. If it's exactly 1, if your correlation coefficient is exactly +1, that means they are in an exact straight linear line. If it's -1, it means they're in an exact straight negative line, like that. Okay? The closer you get to 0, the more scattered they are. The more scattered they are. Okay, that's called the correlation coefficient, R. And we talk about all that here. So it's R is a number between -1 and 1. The closer it is to R, the stronger the correlation. The closer to -1, the stronger the negative correlation. Graphing calculators will help us to find this. Here's the deal with your graphing calculator. You guys will come up a million times in the beginning and say, I don't have R, I don't have R, I don't have R, and I'll talk you through this step. I wish the calculators would default to this, but they don't. So you guys, especially if you have a brand new calculator, the only time you need to do this is if I reset your calculator, which I will at times when we take tests because you all put programs in here that you shouldn't have. So I will reset your calculator and then I'll remind you, turn your diagnostics on, okay? Or if you let the battery completely run down, because you get that little warning that says your battery's low, your battery's low, your battery's low. We recommend you charging it. Okay, please charge it when it says that. Okay, don't let it go all the way down because in all these settings that we do, we'll get zapped. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to second, hit the second function, and then catalog, which is above the 0. This is a catalog of every single function that your calculator has in alphabetical order. Now, if you want, you can just scroll down until you get to the D's, but that's annoying. If you notice in the upper right-hand corner, you're in what's called alpha lock. Do you see how that A, that capital A is there? That means it's in alpha lock. That means, do you see up above some of the buttons you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H? You see the letters? That means if you push letter D, which letter D is right here, it's the 4th button down on the left, it'll go straight to the D's. If you press K, it goes to the K, or there must not be anything for the K. So L goes to L, P goes to P. So whichever letter you push, it'll go to that part of the catalog, okay? But we need D, so I'm going to go back to D for diagnostics. And then I'm going to scroll down until I see diagnostics on. And once you see diagnostics on, you hit enter and enter again till it says done. So it should say diagnostics on and done. Does anybody need help doing this? Because you won't get your R if you don't do this. Does everybody's calculator say diagnostics on, done? Okay, so now you're on your home screen. I just clear that to get that all taken off. So we're going to go back and we're going to look at our first example. And usually we only get through one of these, and that's okay. Okay. Your first example says the table shows the femur length in centimeters and the height in centimeters of several people. I think, did we do this one in class?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one we did by hand, isn't it? Yeah, it was kind of okay. We had to draw it, go from 40, we had to do the scale. Watch how cool this is. Okay. We're going to now do this with our graphing calculator. So we're going to come to our graphing calculator. If you guys get behind, let me know so I can help you before we get too far ahead of you. Okay? And this is where your blue sheet follows along. See at the top, it says enter data into the lists. Press stat. Stat is right here. Okay? Stat. Top row, or second row down. And then number 1 says edit. Now, if you have a brand new calculator, yours might be clear. If you have somebody else's calculator, you might have some stuff in there. Does anybody have data in there? Okay, some of you have data in there. Here's the way you get this out. There's a difference between the word clear and the word delete. Delete means get rid of the list. Clear means just clear the entries. Okay, we don't want to delete the list because if I delete the list, then it's going to completely get rid of list 2 and you're going to jump from 1 to 3. And I'll show you how to get that back if that happens. I'm going to go up, press clear, go down. Go over, and you'll have to do this tonight when you go to your homework. Go up, press clear, go down. That clears out your lists. Now, everybody's list should be clear. Does everybody say list 1, list 2, list 3? Or is anybody missing one? Yeah, you don't have like a 10. That's fine. Do you at least have 1 and 2? Okay. Now, what if you forgot and you pressed delete and it took the whole... Now, see when I press delete? Look what happened. Now I go from list 1 to list 3. Your calculator won't work unless you force it to use list 1 and list 3, and it's a pain where we're at right now. So what you do to get that back, if that ever happens, note, if you accidentally delete your list, go to stat, have it on here. Number 5, set up editor, enter. Now when I go back to stat and edit, my lists are back. Okay, my lists are back. So you're going to make list 1 your X list, and you're going to make list 2 your Y list. So I'm going to come here. Let me scroll this up so I can see them all. And I'm going to type in list 1 in this order. I'm going to type in my data. Okay? So I'm just going to hit 40, enter. and then 45. And make sure you're entering it right. Guys, one of the biggest mistakes you make on your test is you enter one of these points wrong, and I can't see it because you've left and your calculator's with you, and I can't see that you entered your data incorrectly. 47 and 45. Once you do the first list, okay, notice my calculator says list 1, and then in parentheses it has 11. That means if I were to enter something underneath 45, it would be the 11th entry. Do you remember when we counted our points on Friday? We had 10 points. I have 10 data points. So that means I have 10 entries, so I didn't skip any. Now we're going to use the right arrow key. Now you have to make sure that 40 is paired with 150. If you accidentally skip one, maybe you skip that, and it shifts all these up, you cannot just add 162 at the bottom because 162 is not paired with 45. Does that make sense? They're paired with their partner. So you have to make sure that 40 is paired with 170 and 45 is paired with 183 and so on. So now I'm going to go to list 2 and I'm going to enter my list. And again, when you're done, your list should be equal. If you ever, in things that we're doing, get dimension mismatch, that means your lists are mismatched. One's longer than the other. So you have one too many entries in one year. Go back and double check you made a mistake somewhere. So is everybody okay getting their data in their lists? All right, so we're done with this first step. Now it says go to y equals. Okay, go to y equals. If you have anything in your y equals, clear them out. Clear them out. So if you have anything in y equals, just press clear. And now, do you remember when I had that plot turned on? And I told you guys, if that's on, you have to turn it off to graph like normal functions. Now we're graphing scatter plots, so we're going to turn that on. I'm going to show you how to set this up so you can see what the settings are. Some of you will like this. Some of you will just, once we set it, you'll just go up and turn it on like that. But for right now, let's go to second y equals. Okay, and we want to look at plot 1. So we're going to go to number 1. Now, I want to turn plot 1 on, so I'm going to hit on. I have different types of plots that I can draw. The first one's a scatter plot. That's what I want. Second one's a line graph. Third one's a histogram. We got box and whisker with outliers, box and whisker without outliers. I'm not sure what the difference between these two. Mr. Blaverick might know as a stats teacher, but I'm not 100% sure what the difference is between those two line graphs. Okay, list 1 is my X list. Remember, X was list 1. Y was list 2. Now, you can change the mark if you want. I just leave it at its default, which is that little open dot. You can make it a plus sign or a tiny dot. I just leave it here. So this is my default settings. Now, once you have it set up like this, you don't ever have to change this again. You can just go up here, press enter, come down. Go up here, press enter, come down. Okay? So right now, just make sure that plot is turned on. Did that help? Yes. Okay. Is everybody good so far? Let's see if I can have this back. Okay. All right. Now, we are now to where we are on. Did I give him this? Hey, Anderson. What did I give you? No, wrong thing. Sorry. too many blue papers. All right. So now all you do, and next thing you would do if you were graphing this by hand is you had to go like here, and you had to go here, and you had to tell your window what window to set up. Last time we graphed, we used the standard window, which was -10 to 10, -10 to 10 by a scale of 1, right? Well, that ain't going to help us. We're not even going to see anything because none of these start until we get to 30. So there's 2 windows that we use. We're going to go to zoom. Remember, 6 was our standard window. 6 goes -10 to 10 by a scale of 1. We don't want that one. If you keep going to number 9, you see stat. Our calculator will automatically go to that list, look at what my statistics are, and it'll fit the graph to be perfect to those statistics. So zoom stat, boom, there's your scatter plot. Dang, right? What's that?
I got one in the bottom right.
Uh-oh, so that means you did something wrong. So go back to your list. Go back, stat, edit. Oh, wait a minute, you had second on there.
Why are some of them like big?
Edit. Okay.
Oh, I have one.
No.
I think I do a lot.
The only difference in one of mine, one's like a solid.
Yeah, why?
Because there's like they're close together.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, he found his. Anybody else? So, yes.
I think I actually
Okay.
Okay. Zoom, and then 9.
Yeah, it's because
There's
two of them are right next to each other.
Oh, which ones?
Okay.
Number 45.
Yes. So, do you guys remember when we graphed on Friday? We had 2 numbers that were super close to each other. It was 140, was it 141 or 180?
182.
182 and 183. So they're like right on top of like 182, 183. So they're like right there. Okay, so that's why they're there. What do you guys think so far?
What do we do with that?
Okay, all right, we're not there yet. AJ's like, okay, yeah, all right, here it is. But cool, Mrs. Naples, what do I do with this? Hang in there, we're getting there. All right, now comes the fun part. So you guys are now down to like here where it says select zoom and then 9. All right, so you got this paper to follow along plus the video. Now to calculate the equation. Do you remember now you had to draw this by hand? You had to do that. We did the line of best fit. We picked 2 points. We wrote those 2 points down and we calculated the equation for the line of best fit. You remember we did it? It was kind of annoying. Watch. Ready? Are you guys okay there? Josh? Or Justin, I mean?
Yeah.
You good? Okay, ready? Stat. Calc. 4. That'll be your favorite. Stat calc 4. What's number 4 say up here? Linear regression. Linear regression. So that was stat calc 4. Bingo. Okay, now you get this. Now, you guys have a different screen than me. You guys got to go down to where it says calculate. I don't have calculate. I just hit enter. So some of you with the older calculators, you just hit enter. Some of us with the newer calculators, you just got it right there. Uh-oh. So George is throwing his on the floor. That's what he thinks of it. All right. I'm going to stop. Did everybody get this far?
Yeah.
Anybody not here? All right. So notice it gives you y equals ax plus b. Why is it a? We always have mx plus b, right? Y equals mx plus b. That's a linear equation. In statistics, they replace m with a. No idea why. Okay, it's just the way it is. So in statistics books, instead of y equals mx plus b, it's y equals ax plus b. Same thing. A is your slope. Tells you, here's a, here's b. So when I ask you for the equation for the line of best fit, y equals 2 point, let's go to 2 decimal places when you do this. So that'd be 2.60 x plus, ooh, what would this round to 2 decimal places? 65 point, and go ahead and put the 0.00 so it shows, hey, I rounded, it's just 65.00. And here's my equation for the line of best fit. Now, who has their notes close from Friday? What did we get Friday when we did this one? It was the last from.
So I didn't put it down.
Oh, we didn't
finish it.
finish it.
Yeah, we didn't finish it.
Okay.
We got 2.6 for the slope.
We got 2.6 for the slope, so we did pretty good. Okay. But a lot less work, right?
Yeah, 2.5.
We got 2.5.
2.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
What do we think so far?
And 2.5.
All right. Now it says use this line of fit. It says use it, meaning the line of best fit, to calculate the height of a person whose femur is 35 centimeters. Is that X or Y? The femur is 35. They want to say when X is 35, what is Y? Now, here's the thing I don't want you to do. Do not just plug this back into this blue equation that I have written. And the reason why is because this is a rounded equation. And you have a $100 calculator that has the whole equation on your screen. Now, this next part only works is if you have this regression on your home screen. So if you did some other math, you got to go back and go Stat Calc 4 and get this on your home screen. Stat Calc 4. Go down to calculate, have this on your home screen. Okay? Now, after this, if you can see, if you turn it over, to paste the regression equation on your graph, go to y equals. Now, I want to paste that whole equation, not rounding any of the decimals. So this is the one that everybody always gets a little confused on. Bars. Go back to y equals. Bars. Which in here looks like something we're working with right now? Statistics. That's all right. Zoom, we have worked with Zoom, but we're going to go down to statistics. Okay. Let me do it one more time. Y equals bars, number 5, which is statistics, and then go over to EQ. And the first thing you see is regression equation, not regular equation. I just kind of go ooh when you say that, okay? Regression equation. And hit enter. And notice it pasted that entire regression equation right in. Okay, let's see. Okay, one thing, hang on, let me see. Be careful. Some of you were on top of the equal sign.
Oh my God.
Yep. You can't paste it on top of the equal sign. You got to go to the right of the equal sign. Bars, statistics, equation, enter.
Yeah.
Does that do it?
It puts it all in one row. So
That's right. Yeah, some of you guys have it in one row. Mine doesn't. It's okay. And now, if I graph, notice what it actually does. Line of best fit.
Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Wow.
Now, okay, AJ, you're always like a half a step ahead of me, hon. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Does everybody have this line through there?
Yeah.
Who said no?
Why?
Here, I can do it. I can do it.
I would just say
Why? Statistics. Enter. Now graph.
Oh, you press enter last time.
Okay. Go back to Zoom. And 9. You have it on a standard way. How about this? Oh, you turned your plot off. So leave that on. Okay. Now go back to Zoom 9. There you go. Okay. Yep. Anybody else? Okay. So now what we want to do. Now you're following your blue paper. Following your blue paper. Okay. If you know X and are trying to find Y. Is that what we have? We know X, right? And we're trying to find Y. Isn't that what we have here? We know X is 35. We're trying to find Y. Go to second calc. Second calc. That's above the trace button. And you see the first thing says value. Second calc value. Your calculator saying, okay, I'm blinking. What do you want X to be?
Yeah, where's calc?
Okay. Let me go back.
It's above trace.
Okay. Right here, above trace.
Got it.
Second calc, number 1. And it's saying, what do you want me to let X be? What are you going to let X be? 35. Hit enter, and it gives you the exact value. What's Y when X is 35? And that'd be centimeters. Okay. Now, what about if X is 55, what is Y? Okay. So you don't even worry about it. You just do it again. Second calc, value. Okay. 55. And you get an error. Okay. And if you're getting an error, there's a reason. So y'all got an error. Uh-oh. Mrs. Apple, something's broken with my calculator. Nothing's broken with your calculator. It doesn't go that high. You're exactly right. Watch. Remember when we set up our Zoom, we did Zoom 9, which you have to do for every single problem you enter. Because the statistics that you put in for this one are going to be different from the next problem that you do. So you have to do Zoom 9 for every problem you do. But I'm going to go back to window.
How'd you get back to that screen before?
Second quit.
Oh.
Okay. Now go to window. Window is the second button over. And when I go to my second button over, remember we talked about this screen on the one day when we first started talking about our graphing calculators. And this was the window that were fit to the statistics that I had. But remember, our maximum femur was 50. So it set the maximum at 52. Okay? But now we're trying to say, make this what? And you're telling your calculator, calculate the value when X is 55, and your calculator saying, I can't do that. So you have to come in and make this larger than what? 55. So 60. Now, here's the key that some students do. They set it to 60. Set it to 60, then they go back. That's right. Lucas, I'll help you 1 second. They set it to 60, but then they go back to Zoom 9. When you set it back to Zoom 9, it's going to go right back to this. So don't go Zoom 9. Okay? Okay, let's go back. I'm going to start. So many people are lost. Ready, Lucas?
Yeah.
Okay, if the line is gone, is your equal sign dark and is your plot turned on?
Yeah, but there's no equation there.
Okay. Vars, stats, EQ, regression equation, enter.
I'm at 60.
Graph.
Wait, I'm at 60.
Huh? You're good now? Okay. Now guys, let me go back. Okay. When we did Zoom 9, it took us here. I'm trying to tell my calculator to make it something bigger than 52, so it didn't work. So I had to go to window and make this something bigger than 55, like 60. Now, all you do is hit graph. If you go back to Zoom 9, you're telling it to fit to the statistics. It's always going to give you this window. So just say, okay, now that I change it to 60, graph. It's going to stretch it out to that window. You can see it stretched it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And now we can do second calc value 55. And how tall is a person that has a femur of 55? 208.19 centimeters. Okay. This is where I find out who likes computers and who does not. Okay? Use your blue sheet. Do not cross off the second example. We're going to do that later on this week as one of our problems to work on. Your homework tonight is here.
You need graph paper?
Yeah, these are gonna take like
Do we need
20
graph
years.
paper?
20 years?
Do we need graph paper?
No, that's just
Nope.
the whole class.
You don't need graph paper. You can graph in your calculator, but write the equation down. When it says find the line of best fit, write that equation down. Okay? Some of you love this, some of you not so much. Okay, what can I do to help you?
No, I just like cleared out.
Okay, so you good? Okay.
My calculator should be the
No way.
My calculator's gonna be the delta.
You will, I promise.